Good morning and welcome to Zen Fits. And a beautiful Thursday morning here in Blackstone. Kind of cold this morning, but the sun's shining. And yesterday is over. It was, I had the TV on, but I turned it off, but I put the mute on and I listened to music while I wrote because, you could only take so much of the speeches. However, it feels like something broke. It feels like a stake was stuck in the ground. I've been writing about crossing the Rubicon. So America crossed the Rubicon yesterday because once you impeach the president, whether he's convicted in the Senate or not, you can't go back. And Trump crossed the Rubicon when he made that call to Ukraine, but it was not just one call, it was the whole plot, but we all know the story. So the title I just wrote down was America's Creativity or Violence. It seems like we're in a very crazy point. It's kind of like where, the orchestra builds up, it keeps building up, tension, wow, 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 wow. And so like the impeachment was, now we got the Senate trial coming, and it'll be, and it'll be 2020, the election, it'll be, it's like this tension is, it's like two hands, a left hand and a right hand, and they're arm wrestling. I win, oh, I win. It's insane. It's crazy. If you see somebody arm wrestling themselves, see the illusion, if, say you take a horseshoe, and you bring the horseshoe up out of the water, right? And these are two, and one's positive and one's negative. It's a magnetic horseshoe. Okay, and you bring it up. It looks like two separate horseshoes. And this one says, there can only be number one. And this one says, there can only be number one. That's the enemy. That's keeping me from being number one. And number one means the whole. So I'm America. No, I'm America. I'm not, I am bigger. But then we become dysfunctional. We become insane. We double down on insanity. But what happens if the water begins to drop and we suddenly see that it's one horseshoe? Or we suddenly see that, it's one body. So the only way out of this is seeing, not subduing the other side, not winning the argument, because neither one can win. You see, if this two arms, I can't win this one because this hand is this hand. This hand can't beat this one because this hand is this hand. So if this one wins, it doesn't eliminate yourself. Because if you win and eliminate this, you eliminate this. It's one hand. You see, this is the insanity of civil war. This is the insanity of trying to be number one. I wrote about this yesterday. If everything were, if green, or say red, it's a red up there. So if everything were red, and red wanted to be the only color, no other color beside, no other God beside me, no other color beside me, no other color can stand. I'm number one. I am the whole, the one. So if red thought that, and it eliminated every other color, red would no longer exist, because you have to look at this from the subjective side too. Now, if I am a color, red, and I want to be, my opinion will be the only, on Facebook, my opinion is the only opinion standing. So I'll argue to the end of time against anybody who opposes my opinion. That happens on Facebook. There's some arguments that are still going on. But when the whole is divided into two arms, the whole is the one, but the whole is unconscious. The hands are the conscious. I'm conscious. I want to be number one. I want to be number one. The left hand, the right hand, you see. When one of these hands believes that it has to be the only hand, and it has to be the one by eliminating this, killing it, cutting it off, you see. It's cut off its own hand because there is only one body. So there's really only one hand, but it works with two. So if we only have one hand, we can't do very much. We need two hands to lift things, to work together. So the American system is designed so that two hands, the left and the right hand, work together through competing, but always coming to a compromise, always coming to a whole idea that is born out of the playful conflict of the two hands. The two hands play duel in politics to come up with a single idea that has the best value of both hands. That's the way it works. Take a whole, divides into two, they wrestle, you create a bigger whole. The dialectic of evolution, the dialectic of change, the dialectic of progress. You got a whole, it divides into a left and right. You argue, you come up with the best ideas, you put them together, you fight it out, you create a bigger whole. And then this divides, and then they work it out, and it creates a bigger whole. So you're always progressing towards greater wholes, greater unity. That's the way life works. It's a dynamic unity, a dynamic creative life that is always moving towards unity. If you want to say, what is the one thing that drives the universe, that drives life, it's the desire for unity, greater unity. And you see, the world is always breaking up because it's always changing. It's always disintegrating. Everything is dying. Everything is falling apart. Everything is falling apart, you see, but at the same time, everything is creating larger wholes. This is dynamic unity, not fixed unity. See, the problem is between nouns and verbs. A noun is fixed. A verb is not. A verb is action. So life is a verb, a wave, right? Life is feminine. It's a wave. No, life is fixed. That's male. Fixed. Absolute. A wave. A wave is left, right, up, down, working together to create larger and larger wholes. But then they always break up and create larger wholes. So it's not really going towards, whoa, large like that. It's like it's going break up together, always creating whole out of death, always creating life out of death, you see. But when we try to fix that, stop it, we stop creativity. Because creativity is creating bigger wholes, bigger unities. But I guess bigger is not a good, because we're not creating bigger unities, we're just creating unity. Art is unity. Art takes fragments and creates a work of art that is a unity out of the pieces. And we say, oh, look, he created a horse out of all those pieces of peanut shells. The fragmented peanut shells creates a unity of a horse, you see, an idea. So life is everything that we see is just bits of data. It's just bits of broken pieces of information. This rum is look around it, you see. Here we got all these different pieces. All these, Yeah, but the room is a unity, and you come in here, and it's got all these little pieces of stuff on all these pieces of stuff here, but there's a unity to it. There's a whole to it. There's so this is what we all do in our houses, you know. Some of us are compulsive order freaks, some of us are disintegration freaks. But you find a balance. Some of us move towards greater order, go, that's out of place, that's out of place. Oh, let me straighten that. Oh, I got to straighten that. That's Monk. Remember that TV show? And then there's, the odd couple, Felix. And what was the other guy's name? He would always, so we get in relationships with one or the other of our hands. This hand is for order, this hand is for chaos. Death, life, they go together. They dance together like Fred and Ginger. My house is like that. So wherever you get in a marriage or relationship, you find a balance or you destroy each other. You find a creative way to play between the incoming and the outcoming tide of order and chaos. You see, there's a dance to it. There's a play. If all was order, you go crazy. If all was chaos, you go crazy. Couldn't stand it. So if we try to fix it, you see, that's where we get into trouble. You try to fix the tide. You try to fix the river. You try to fix the flow. Create a dam. So that's the problem with our country right now. One of the hands, you see, that's where they're both wrong. They're both wrong. Throw them all out. Cut both hands off. Okay, now what are we going to do? So be careful what you wish for. I just thought of a joke. There's somebody with a deformed hand. I'm Trump. Oh, Lord, make both my hands the same. Be careful what you wish for. So, anyway, what time is it? Okay, my Zen fit today is that we're in that place right now. We're in that place in our country where we have to see the insanity of what we're trying to do here, where one hand wants to be progressive and the other hand wants to fix it, to stop time, to stop progress, to stop life, to stop the river. Stop it. Fix it. No more compromise. No more play. No more dance. Stop it. Which one is going to win? This is like what is it? Scissors, stone, paper, right? So the right is saying paper, the left is saying stone, or whatever. But it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. So hopefully this impeachment, the Senate trial in 2020, will make us see what's going on. Make us see where we've been stopped and blocked. Make us see. So the seeing will be the new America. When you see that you're arm wrestling yourself, you stop it. When you see that you're fighting yourself, you stop it. The seeing is the stopping. You don't see it and then say, oh, should we stop? No. If you've got a hand on a hot plate and you feel something burning, wait a minute, and you see that your hand's on the hot plate, the seeing takes the hand off the hot. There is no, should I take the hand off the hot plate? No. Whoa. The seeing and the action is one. So when we see that what we're doing is insane, we stop it. Okay, let's stop it. Thanks for dropping in.